The J.A.W Show 2022, Season 2, where we endeavor to save the world or possibly end it. Brought to you by Blue Spirit Action. Join us every Friday on YouTube and Facebook Live. You can find us everywhere. Join us here live, 3 p.m. on the J.A.W Show. Welcome to us here today. We're streaming live about a half an hour late because we had some, I forgot. Let's just go there. Eunice is joining me. Eunice is joining me here today on the show, so you can welcome her onto the show. She decided to stop by for an episode. So check out my wife's beautiful new hair. Isn't that beautiful? Pretty. Good. Back. So today's topic is called Call Me a Beggar. Basically, we all, everyone, people aren't saying this about me yet, but maybe some of you are. You're finding me a beggar. I'm begging for all of this stuff to happen, begging you for things to come into our lives, stuff like that. I'm holding my hand out to you and asking you to give me things that maybe you have, maybe you don't have, right? So today on the J.A.W Show, I want to kind of touch on a couple of topics that brush up against that. When I talk about calling yourself a beggar, right? I am saying to you basically this. I'm asking for help. I'm asking for your assistance. Nothing in return, nothing gained, nothing given, just a simple act of kindness. Doctor Who said it best, be kind. Above all else, be kind, right? And I'm watching Doctor Who right now, so I'm thinking about all this stuff, but the premise of Doctor Who is basically crazy ass, weird stuff happening in the earth. Some man comes from a different place to solve the world's problems and does so. You filthy, dirty witch, burping on my shoulder. I feel so ashamed. See the shame on her face. See. Okay. Don't worry, my one's over there. People say I should stop smoking. Why? Why should I stop smoking when my life is almost here at an end? Yeah, I'm only 48 years old in September, a couple months from now. A little bit less than a month from now, I'll be 48 years old. Not old yet, according to her. Is what I say. But not until you're 50. It doesn't matter. It matters how you feel. That's old. Okay. Old is a feeling. Old is a state of mind. I've seen people who are old who act young. They're not old. Old is a state of mind, okay? Old is saying to yourself, I am literally done trying to do anything else but just live out the rest of my days and be as happy as I can. Well, this is me trying to be as happy as I can. I just have to destroy the world to do it, magic red buttons and all, evil eye plans. And I'll see, it even says easy on it. See? Yes, it's a staples button, but I'm going to connect it up to all the things I need to go when I go. Bye-bye, world. Okay? Then I've got my magic plan here, and stuff fell on the ground, so I have to pick it up later, blah, blah, blah. I should probably just keep this in place where I can actually grab it. Have the track fall off, well, Dave. Oh, how about that? I think it will fall off, man. Novel idea. But there are certain things in this world we expect, right? There are certain things that we just feel like we're owed, right? We're all beggars in a way. We're all saying, hey, I feel like you owe me this, you owe me that. No one owes you a goddamn thing, I'm sorry. No one. The only person who's in control of your life is you. No one else. No one else can do it for you. No one else can change it for you. No matter what your parents do, no matter what the police do, no matter what anyone does to you, if you are determined enough to do something, trust me, you will find a way to do it or die trying. Now, the die trying part is what most people end up doing. They don't actually accomplish their goal, but they die trying, right? Well, if my goal is to save the world, even if I have to destroy to do it, well, that's what I'm going to do. See, this is the reason it hasn't happened yet, honestly.
My blue hair.
Yes, your blue hair. It's all because of Luke XC, the blue hairs, and these guys not just running well. She's made a conservative effort not to save the world through hair color. Well, if that's all it took to save the world, can you all please dye your hair blue? Please?
This shade too.
Yeah, if that's what it takes to save the world and make you all treat each other with respect, honor each other's traditions, faiths, religions, political beliefs, personal beliefs, and just be okay with accepting someone for who they are, even if they're the screwed up human being that they are. Now, yeah, that means accepting someone who may be an evil person for who they are. That doesn't mean we have to put up with that. We just have to acknowledge that that exists and how we come together best as a world. Why don't we try healing these people instead of incarcerating them? Okay? You know, if there's nothing left to steal in the world, what is there any theft in the world?
No.
Okay, if everyone's getting at least some food, and you know, America, we have a ton of food. We go through food like it was yesterday.
We waste a lot of food.
Yeah, there's a lot of food that goes, that goes into a grocery store, that goes into a dumpster because they didn't sell it. You know, fresh food doesn't last forever. If people don't buy that fresh food, it's spoiled. You know what happens when food spoils? It goes into the trash. You know what that is? That's called cost-effective management because they think they've acquired this perfect plan that says, oh, these people and these people are going to buy this many things. Now, not only is that an expectation, but treating someone like a decent human being. Okay? Is it really that hard? I'm a disabled man. You don't give a disabled man 5 minutes to run into a store and get all the things they need and cause their anxiety to go up, their back pain to go up. They're literally in a panic and staging mode. When I came into that car, I was literally huffing and puffing, trying to make sure I got to the car in time before he left. You know, I was breaking my butt in the store, trying to get everything fit him. And Sabrina's looking at me like a prisoner. He says I only got 5 minutes. And that was a Lyft driver, by the way. And I use Lyft a lot. And I usually get good ratings through Lyft, okay? So I'm plugging Lyft a tiny bit right here. But that driver, he needs to learn compassion before his wallet. You know what he's more worried about? He's more worried about how much money he was making than being compassionate to a human being who told him upfront he was disabled. It was going to take him a while in the store, and trying to explain to him, I will be as fast as I can, but yeah. And then when he said to me, well, if you're not out in a certain amount of time, I'm going to have to leave. And I said, well, if you leave, you're not going to get paid. No, I'm sorry, but if you're going to pay for a service and I'm going to a service and asking for you to return me home, well, there's got to be more than 5 minutes to go into a store. No one can get any shopping done in 5 minutes. No one. Okay? You can get shopping done in 5 minutes. Maybe online you can get shopping done in 5 minutes, but if you actually have to go to a store and get food, I don't know too many
go through the aisles, go to the checkout.
Okay, and the store's not that big, okay?
Yeah.
But you still got it. You know, the pop isn't all in one place, the soda's not in all one place, everything's in a little bit place, and then there are other people in line. And it's a small little gas station by a big community full of a lot of places that come there. Busy can happen in a second. And if you step out of line for 1 second to forget, like say you forgot to, like the milk at the last second, I had to go back and grab it. Then I almost forgot the money that I was going to get for other things today. Yeah, we're getting some medicine today. Peace and love to all those who smoke weed. Pro weed choice. We must legalize weed. Okay.
Legalize weed.
But that's for my medical benefits, and I honestly think it's about time we just stop worrying about something as trivial as marijuana. Stuff like cocaine and more addictive stuff, the narcotic stuff. I agree, that stuff should never be a part of the public. Okay, but I'm sorry, something like an herbal supplement like marijuana and whatever your personal beliefs are on it, that's your personal beliefs. But I'm saying to you now, you know what? If you haven't smoked around, you've got a lot of anxiety, and you've got a lot of worry in your life, and
like you need to just chill.
At least go see a doctor about getting on the medical cannabis. That doesn't get you high. That doesn't get you all loopy. I like the stuff that gets you high and loopy because it has more benefits for me because it helps me sleep and do other things besides that. You know, I need that THC combination to give me just that much more time. Yes, there is a benefit of getting stoned or high, but honestly, it lasts about an hour, and then I'm not stoned for 4 hours, and then we use it like medicine. We use it for a certain amount of time and a certain amount of place. We try to space it out so that we're using it like a medicine, not like a drug. Thank you. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, I can't say we don't have our moments where we are in a lot of pain and heck and smoke and smoke and smoke and smoke. We have those moments too, but far in between. Most of the times we're using it like it's supposed to be. Okay. But I mean, basic customer service in this country. I don't think the pandemic really shook anybody's bells a little bit, because look at why people aren't going back to work, because nobody wants to be treated like crap anymore for this much money. Nobody wants to do it anymore. That's right. Okay. If I can sit at home and the government can pay my bills, they're not going to do anything to me. What are they going to do? Put me in jail where they're going to feed me, clothe me, and do everything I hope to God they do for me because I stole from the system? If that's the worst thing I have to worry about the rest of my life.
So be it.
3 showers, free food, and all the sex I don't want.
And some sex that you do.
Well, I hope it's pretty.
He would be the bitch.
No, I don't think so. I think we'd have an equal partnership here, you know? I'm not just gonna, bend over every time he says bend over.
I'd say hello.
Now, for all of our LGBTQ people out there, we're not teasing the gauge. We're both bisexual people, and we both understand that. That might be taboo for some people, but honestly, you know what? Why aren't we talking about stuff like that? Call me a beggar, right? I'm asking you for things you might not be able to get. What's your opinion? You're good, quiet.
Yeah, I've been letting you voice your opinions. And the only thing I'd like to add to this is, it goes back to the golden rule. Every major religion on this earth has their version of the golden rule. Treat people like you want to be treated. It's not hard. It really isn't. If somebody's in a wheelchair, well, go around them, or if they're talking to them, don't just kind of, talk to the person, for crying out loud. Is it that hard? Hell, you might learn something. Ooh.
There might be people out there who don't want to talk to you about what happened to them. Okay, but then be respectful of that too. Yeah. Okay, I can disagree with you, and it's okay to do that. Mm-hmm. That's what America was based on. I can disagree with you, but we can come together and try to make it the best we can. That's what's wrong with America. We've stopped trying to make it better together. It's Democrat versus Republicans. No. Okay. Who cares what party or what specific belief in political or religious beliefs you believe? Does it really matter all that much? If you look into a person's eyes and you see there's someone you know nothing about them, the first time you meet somebody, the first time you meet anybody, and if you look at them, how do you judge them? You judge them by their personality and how they look. Of course you do, but without getting to know them a little bit.
I'm looking at the love of my life.
But honestly, it's just being a part of the solution and not the problem.
Yeah. And that's all it is. You have to make the conscious decision to not be confrontational, to respect other people, regardless of what they look like, what color their hair is. Are they covering their face? Oh, well, who gives a flying? And, it's just not that difficult. Where we live, we've got people of all backgrounds, of all ethnicities, of different religious beliefs. Do I care? Not the least bit. Because I don't know their whole story. Only they do. And that's okay. They don't know my whole story. And they're okay with that.
And that doesn't mean standing up for your beliefs and saying to someone when they're doing something completely wrong to you, like belittling you because of a color, belittling you because of something else. I'm not saying don't stand up for your right to be an individual either. I'm just saying be proud of your individuality, but don't take, if you're going to be proud of your individuality, let the other person be proud of their individuality.
Yeah.
Even if that's a fucked up individuality to you, a Christian and a pagan, they're not exactly best friends in the universe, right? You'd think they'd be mortal enemies. I'm a witch, they're a Christian. We shouldn't be friends because we're opposing forces according to both of our beliefs, right?
Yeah.
Not according to my belief, it's not. According to some of their beliefs, I am. My belief doesn't care. Shit giggles whether or not they're Christians or not. We don't have those kind of staples on our faith. But I can't say that I can't understand what they believe because of how strong I believe in my faith. So I have to give them their voice and be able to say that, hey, you want to worship the Lord Jesus Christ and you want to pray every day and do that for all those people who are out there? Blessed be. Amen. Every day, all day long, please don't stop.
Go in peace.
Yeah, please pray for every single person out there who needs help and blessing in this world. And if you think you can save yourself in prayer, by God, do it. And I mean that literally and figuratively. And by the gods, do it anyway.
Yeah.
And that goes for you pagans too. Just because they're Christian doesn't mean they're filthy, dirty human beings who don't deserve some leeway. If you were a pagan, you were probably a Christian sometime in your previous life. Or some kind of belief system along those Christian, Abrahamic faiths or whatever,
Yeah. And, we have a friend,
call her Jewel.
him,
I don't know what's happening here.
and he was raised Catholic. He's Italian, but he's pagan.
He's very pagan.
He is one of the most spiritually connected people that I know. And does he bash his Catholic upbringing? Well, maybe sometimes when he talks about going to Catholic school as a kid and getting his knuckles wrapped by the nuns. But other than that, that was their punishment. When I was growing up, punishment, if we said anything that how can I put this, really pissed off one of our parents, well, you know what we did? For saying anything, we got our mouths washed out. So, ivory snow.
But some of us grew up with that, Some of us didn't get that kind of upbringing. Some people feel punishment for children is wrong, and some people feel like punishment for children is essential. I think there's a little bit of both. Kind of have to be. It's always going to be a dance.
Yeah.
Parenting or anything in life is a dance. How much more you're giving your partner that they're going to give you? If you're going to give your children an open mind, the freedom to think, well, be prepared for them to have an open mind and be free to think. If you're going to raise them in a strict upbringing with strict outbringers, and they decide to go the exact opposite way because you were too strict with them, well, remember that too. Or if they're going to be completely devout and embrace it and be a beautiful part of that journey with you and your family. Oh, great, that's good. There's nothing wrong with that.
For instance, in my family, I have one sibling that's agnostic. Well, two of them. One sibling that's a Mormon. One sibling that is that follows a guru from India, and she's actually in India now. And then me, the pagan. And
how were you raised?
We were raised Christian. And very Christian. My dad was a Southern Methodist. And if you're not familiar with them, Southern Methodist is almost as bad as Southern Baptist.
Well, like I said, That's some people's opinion, not everyone's opinion. I don't think the Southern Baptists think that way.
Oh, true.
And you know, that's what we're talking about. True. She has an opinion that's very strong because she believes that sometimes they go a little far, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes that's her personal belief. I believe that they only go that far because they believe that hard. They only go that far because they feel that strongly about what they believe. They only do that because that's what their faith tells them is the way to make their faith stronger and grow.
Yeah.
Okay. They're only doing what they feel in their hearts is for them to do and believe. They feel they're saving the world. Okay. That's all I'm trying to do is save the world. Now, how am I supposed to tell a Southern Baptist and I to get along if I can't accept what they say is part true? You know, even though I'm a pagan, even though I'm a dirt worshiping, dancing naked under the full moon, crazy ass witch. You know, I'm an ego man, who has a podcast and wants to destroy the world. I mean, come on, you're here, whatever.
And you have a microphone.
Well, I can't show them that, but you'll have to take her word for it. It's not small. Why look like a small man?
You have no butt.
It's flat, not no.
It,
I have a flat butt.
when you lay down, you could be an aircraft carrier. That's how flat your butt is.
So I didn't get blessed with a big butt or small or a big penis. Okay, whatever. Whatever. Yeah. I'm over it. Whatever. You know, you're talking to a survivor, a warrior here who has gone through more crap in his life. Little things like, you know, whether my appendage is big enough or, you know, my hair color is not a certain color or whatever. See, this is what my hair looks like when I don't wear my hat. See?
Oh, look at the wild man. Oh, your hair's wet. And
Yeah, because
are you
it's
sweaty?
No, because I couldn't find my stupid hat. And I was going to just brush my hair and then I'll go pretty for the food.
Oh, okay.
See, I tried to put on an appearance for you. All of this here is an appearance. All of this is for a reason. Even the big satanic thing in the background I made, I did that for a farce. It's a literal joke in front of your face. I am literally telling you I'm an evil villain who is hell bent on destroying the world because you all won't come together and save it. So I've got to motivate you. That's all. You know? And yeah, I'm not the most impressive evil villain out there. She gonna tell you my evil is probably about
yeah. Anyway,
it's a little bit. You met the guy. Yeah. She's seen my angry side. She's seen my you have.
Yes, I have.
But she's never seen the true Jabadier. If he ever comes out, she won't be here anymore because I'll be slicing through everyone who's in my path. I don't care about any love or compassion anymore. I don't care about saving the world anymore. All I'll care about is how do I make the world blow up with a magic button. That's all I'll care about. And how do I accomplish it? By any means necessary, even if that means I have to go to hell and contract with the devil to do it.
And then the devil would be his bitch.
You know, I'm a big strong man up here on earth saying that now, but wait till I get down there. He's actually like, what bitch? It's like, okay, wait 1 second. Okay, good in me, go away. You know, the great, you know, they say, whatever deity you believe in, God has created me in the most perfect way he can, and he's put all of the stuff in my head. He's done it for a reason. Well, isn't that a part of his master plan in the first place? Basically, kind of a deal. Yeah. Okay, well then I'm just assuming that the big guy upstairs is just going, he's coming along nice. You know? She won't do that in public, but she'll do that on my show. Do you know how much she won't do that in public? She's a shy little bitch when it comes to that stuff in public. But on my show, she'll dance like a banshee. Because,
I was a sailor.
Yes.
And sailors are known for being rude and cruel.
And socially unacceptable. Well, some of us. It depends on the kind of soldier you claim yourself to be. You know? There are different kinds of soldiers in this room. But back to the main topic at hand, guys. we come into this world through parents. Whether you want to admit it or not, it takes a man and a female to make a baby. Until a woman and woman can have a baby, they can get interversing, so I can't say that. When a man and a man can have a baby together, and then one goes in their belly, then come talk to me, okay? But
Weirder things have happened.
I would like to see, you know why? Because I'd like to see one human male go through what a woman goes through. I'd like to see one female woman go through what a man goes through. Literally, the real way,
And I think
people who have had the trans, I think they understand better than anybody on the planet.
And that's what I was just going to say. The only people that can understand the other gender are the trans folks.
Because they literally become a different gender, and they felt that they were always that gender to begin with. They just had to find a way to become that, right? Because their body wasn't born like that, right? But when you think about it, maybe that was the whole plan all along, Even they're asking for something. They're asking to be who they want to be in this world and not be judged for who they are, You, right now, you're coming to the show, you're begging for something. You're begging for a reason to find something silly to watch on the internet or something to do because you're bored or because, hey, you think we've got something interesting to say, or because you think I'm crazy and you just want to see how far I'll go with it or whatever. You want to see if I'll actually implement the evil plan.
I said, don't ask him to do that.
Be scared the day I really take it seriously. Really, be really, really scared the day I really take this seriously and I stop being a comedy center because I'm one of those crazy people you see on here telling you how we're going to defeat America and whatever else because I don't care about any of that. But right now I still have hope, and that's what I want you to beg for more than ever: hope, compassion, kindness,
understanding.
Yeah. So if you're going to be a beggar, or if you're going to ask for something, at least when you do receive it, don't expect a big thank you all of the time. Don't even expect it to come from someone you know sometimes. Sometimes it can come from a stranger going down the street. Do you think a smile from a stranger who just happens to look at you and go, isn't a gift? Or the person who looks like, and you took 5 seconds to calm them down and say, okay. Maybe they can't control what's going on with them, A lot of people who can't control certain things that go on with them sometimes. I have anxieties. When it gets to a certain point, I literally go, I can't control it anymore. I have to come down to a level where my mind can be at a level where I'm at least slightly back to normal, even now. After having a very frustrating day, after having a lot of things happen this morning, it took me a while to go from being very anxiety with that Lyft driver this morning to now doing my show, talking about my experience and sharing. What did I expect from that Lyft driver? I'm paying for a service, right? I'm expecting him to understand when I tell them things like, I just say, I'm going to need more time than you give most people. If they can't give me more time, then I don't want them to be my driver. But you can't put that in the request when you ask for a Lyft driver. I need time in the store. If you're only going to give me 5 minutes, then, I used to drive for Bite Squad. You drop stuff off, you drop people off to where they go, you get paid. You get paid for the amount that they say you're supposed to get paid. It's going to cost me $28 to get there. You get the $28. Yeah.
Or maybe you get 20 and
20 or whatever.
And the company gets their cut, whatever it is.
But if it's your job, you're providing a service, you're using your vehicle, your things that are good for you and stuff like that. But I just want you to ask yourself this question: how are we saving this world? How are we going to save this world if we're not going to all ask for help from one another?
We're all going to need help once in a while. And sometimes you're going to be the one that needs help. And if you're not willing to give help, why do you expect help from other people? That goes back to the golden rule. Treat people like you want to be treated. If you ask for help, then somebody will help. I have enough faith in humanity as a whole to say somebody will help. We don't know who, we don't know how. But all we have to do is ask. And if that means getting on your knees and praying to whatever God or the head of lettuce that's rotting in the back of your fridge for help, if you believe they will send help to you, you know,
Pray to my head of lettuce.
you know, do whatever you want. But remember, every act of service is a blessing. And I learned that a long time ago. And the blessing isn't always for the person that you're helping. The blessing can be for yourself as well.
Because you helped.
Because you helped. Not in spite of it, but because of it.
And if all you expect in return is knowing that you helped, that's all you should ever expect in return. Now, if you're doing a loan or you're doing something where you're helping somebody else, you expect something back in return. When things don't go exactly to plan, and they're your friends or something, just remember that sometimes emergencies happen. You know?
Yeah, things happen.
And we don't expect you to wait forever either, right? I saw something on a show I was watching today called The world does not need more billionaires. You know what the billionaires need to do? Give away all their money so that we can actually make this world a better place. Use their money to actually change the world by giving the homeless places to live, giving the people clean water that they can drink, and actual
Food that
they can
really
actually
nourishes them.
right, not the food stamps, getting the junk food at the store thing, going to a store and doing some actual shopping. Hell, if you want to fill your fridge and stuff with junk food, and if that's what you use to feed yourself, at least you had something to eat today. I know someone would give their light on for a Cheeto right now. You know, just one. Okay, well, she's crazy, but she already gave a fuck. So. Yes, I know how much time it is.
Okay.
Well, we went a little bit longer today, but because we started a little bit late today, I guess we're just going to say our final farewell. So
remember, be kind to each other and yourself, as Jerry Springer says.
And as I like to say, don't take no shit, don't lay down. And remember one thing above all else: be kind, compassionate, and above all, try to give as much as you can. But when you need help, ask. Thank you for joining us here at the J.A.W Show. We'll see you next week. Hopefully, we'll have some interviews coming up. But until then, we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.